the Electoral Act doesn't even give any window for that. This is a protest. He's still there, very much in the race, and he sees himself as the candidate or even the winner of this election. Do you think that the Electoral Act has a lacuna to sort this kind of anomaly or this kind of logjam in Kogi?
Oh, very clearly, we have all seen that there is need to revisit the Electoral Act. There is very strong need to revisit it. A lot of things that are turning up right now have to be codified by the legislature and inserted into the Act to make for more specificity. But then, having said that too, I want to say that whether you are resigning or withdrawing in protest or for any other reason, the fact still remains that a candidate must do it in such a way that his party has 45 days. That was not met. I think that what needs to be done is to decide whether it was a properly given notice. And like I've said, it's clear that both INEC and the APC as a party believe that they've not been given their due. That notice, that resignation, that withdrawal, whether in protest or for any other reason, did not meet the mark. Well, and so the elections went on with him still on the ticket.
Mr. Okezie, you spoke about this 45 days.
Alhaji Bello.
About the 45 days, you said, yes, they're going to give that notice, which is stipulated, that's what the law says. But in this case, you also said there wasn't even a 45 days in the first instance. And so if he wanted to give that notice and he finds out, look, this is a unique case as it is, so how then does he give the 45 days when the circumstance doesn't provide for that 45 days and he wants to give that notice? And he said he has given, by the way.
Yes, what it simply means is that anybody who has to resign should do so before 45 days. After 45 days, everybody's hand is tied. The law and the nation and the people of Kogi or any other state cannot wait for anybody to wake up one day and decide to withdraw or to resign. That is my position. There is simply no ambiguity there. It's either 45 days or not. The reason is also because after the election, any deputy or even the governor himself can decide to resign. There are provisions in the constitution. It's not as if he doesn't have 45 days that he can't resign. But the idea is that you don't resign in such a way as to throw the entire process into chaos.
Okay, now
so after the election, he still has
well, sorry to interrupt.
He still has the opportunity to say, all right, I'm going, and to
go ahead.
And to turn in his resignation. You can turn it in before the swearing in and not show up. The party will simply replace him.
Okay, now you've said that the swearing in that happened yesterday.
In after swearing in, the party cannot force him to stay.
You have said that the swearing in that happened yesterday happened in accordance with the law. But some people will say that this is uncharted territory. What law are you talking about?
Yes, we have all the laws relating to how candidates emerge, how elections are conducted, and how governors and their deputies are sworn in. The election that brought Alhaji Bello in, at the end of the day, starting from the day it was declared inconclusive to the end of the supplementary elections, became valid the day INEC announced the winners. It said Alhaji Bello, having won the highest number of votes as stipulated, has been declared the winner and returned as elected. Okay, so that created a valid end to that election. INEC became functus officio. Anything after that is a post-election matter. Okay. And when you look at it, you find out that the only other thing that can be done by any party who wants to leave the ticket at that stage is to resign. You can't force anybody to say, look, if I say I'm not coming for the swearing in, so be it. Assuming if Alhaji Bello had said yesterday, I don't want to be sworn in, if he didn't turn up there and Honorable James Faleke turned up, he would have been sworn in as the governor once there is a valid resignation notice from Alhaji Bello. And it works the other way too. We have a resignation notice from him that is with the party. He didn't turn up. The swearing-in will go on ahead, and then the party and the governor will sit down later to find a replacement for him. Like you said, of course, these things are not specifically provided for. Under our laws, there are penumbras and umbras of interpretation all over the place, and that is why it is good that everybody, including Honorable Faleke himself, has gone to court so that these things can be pronounced on. But if you look at the general development of Nigerian law, this is not the first time that we have had issues where the laws are not specific. Even the simple issue of members of the House of Reps decamping, whether they should lose their seat or not. It's just until recently we started having decisions that said if you decamp, you lose your seat. People had decamped with their mandate before, and until the law pronounced on it, the interpretation was not written down or codified anywhere, but now it is. And so, as in this matter also, as I sit here, I'm very confident that when you appear before the courts, as these cases go on, we will realize that the courts, in my opinion, will make it clear that nobody can, as it were, throw a spanner in the works. And that the issue of resignation or non-resignation of a candidate, whether the flag bearer or the running mate, cannot frustrate a valid electoral process. Otherwise, we are giving too much power to the politicians and allowing them to wake up one day and decide the night before that my deputy has resigned.
All right, Mr. Okezie.
And then what do? We strike them up the ticket, or we don't hold the election.
All right, Moses Okezie-Okafor, we thank you for coming on. That's how far we can go today. Okezie-Okafor is a legal practitioner joining us today from our studios in Abuja. We will be back and get another perspective on the same matter, so don't go away yet.